How about one more miracle? The lob for Wiggins! He did it!
What a play to win the game. You know, let's hear it again. Let's hear it again.
In motion. Gets it right at the rim! It's all over! The catch and throw down for Andrew Wiggins, who's getting mobbed by his entire squad.
What a freaking win for the Miami Heat. That's how you get it done at home court. That's a gritty victory. And that win shows that this Miami Heat team is different. Miami Heat win in overtime 138-140 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The same Cleveland Cavaliers team that smoked them in the playoffs last year. Swept them 4-0. Not even close in one game. There was a couple games that were there was like one game that was close. But that was it. Smoked them. And not only that, we're missing our two best players from that series. We're missing Bam Adebayo in this game. We were missing Tyler Hero in this game. We were missing him all season. And you know what? It didn't matter because the starting lineup of Davion Mitchell, Pelle Larsson, Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, Ware, they got that shit done. Alright? And credit to the bench, of course. The bench has been amazing all season. Jaime Jaquez, 6th man of the year, comeback player of the year, most improved player of the year, whatever you want to put him as. He's deserved it. And that's a victory. That's a victory. To get the walk-off that we deserved in that spot was incredible. Andrew Wiggins said, no. We want you to get home before it's cold. We want you to get home before it gets too cold. We don't want this to go to double overtime. We want to go to sleep. And we want to maintain our home undefeated streak. 5-0 at home. I love that. I love having a great home record and a great way to start the season right there. 5-0 at home. Man, you can't even put a specific player of the game to this game. I mean, I'm going to give you one later. My player of the game that I had narrowed down very, very thinly to. Everybody did their job. This was a team victory all around. All around. Alright? Pelle Larsson, he had 10 points. 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Andrew Wiggins, 23 points. He had that go-ahead dunk by Nikola Jovic, who gave him a perfect pass right at the rim. If Jovic just threw it a little to the left, it would have been over because there's only 0.4 seconds. It would have been over. He would have to, swing his body around, then dunk it. No, he gave him a picture-perfect pass. Ware, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. You would think this game he's going to have problems by both of those two big-ass centers in the starting lineup. He did have problems. They were giving him issues, but he minimized those issues, and he was grittying it out. He was playing tough. He was playing great. You can't be great every possession, but he was great when he needed to. 20 rebounds. He was going up vertically with those long-ass arms, with those giraffe arms, with those big-ass arms, and grabbing those boards vertically on them boys. Getting the putbacks when they needed them. 14 points, 20 rebounds for Ware. Davion Mitchell. He had 11 points. 8 assists. He's been the playmaker, the point guard of the team. When everybody said that he can't facilitate like a true point guard, guess what? He has been. And he's obviously off night. Locking that shit up. Locking up Donovan Mitchell when he needed to. Locking up Darius Garland when he needed to. Locking up Evan Mobley when he needed to. Trying to get in that jump ball at center court. Being gritty. Causing the shot clock violation. And Norman Powell, 33 points. That guy could shoot. He can do everything. He's aggressive in these last 2 games. The only thing that I picked him apart about, he's been great. The only thing is in the first half, he seems to be very aggressive and getting his points, but in the second half, it kind of falls off a little bit, and we need that aggressiveness to close the fourth quarter. But guess what? That aggressiveness was there. What do you have? 18 points in the first half, 15 points in the second half. Norman Powell leading the way. He's amazing. And he's the number one. Without Tyler, he's the number one, and he shows he can be a number one on this team. Playing against playoff teams like the Cavs. Then we had Jovic, as I said, gave that picture-perfect pass. Played 26 minutes. He had the great game last game, but it's alright. He was getting boards. He was the big. Ware needs to sit down. Jovic is the big. Getting his boards. 8 rebounds, 8 points, 4 assists. Simone Fontecchio coming in the first quarter, getting 11 points. Hitting his threes, being an absolute sniper. Setting up plays. Simone Fontecchio was also setting up plays, getting to the spots and making people open because he's so good around the perimeter. Crashing down, even getting some layups. He had 13 points. He was really good in the first half. Kept us in that game in the first half. And led us to get that lead in the second quarter. Kept the game close in the first quarter, got the lead in the second quarter. Simon Fontecchio did his job. He might have fell off in the second half, but he did his job. Drew Smith, he was played the least amount of minutes, 15 minutes, 6 points, but he came in, hit a three, amazing three, little pump fake, got Alonzo Ball jumping, bang. Jaquez. What can I say enough? I can't say enough about him. I can't say enough about Jaquez Jr. All right, terrible season last season compared to his rookie season, but he's been amazing. He's the point guard. He's the facilitator of the second unit. They give him the ball down the stretch. He goes gets baskets when the game needs to be tied. He goes draws fouls when he needs to draw fouls. He hits his free throws. 22 points, 7 assists. He's been great facilitating the ball. 7 assists, 13 rebounds. That's the Miami Heat lineup we had out tonight. Those are the players we played. Pelle Larsson, Andrew Wiggins, Khalil Ware, Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell, Jovic, Fontecchio, Drew Smith, and Jaquez. You don't see no Bam. You don't see no Tyler Hero. And of course you see no Jimmy Butler. This is the team that we needed to put 140 points on the Cavs. A great defensive team. This team made Kenny Atkinson get ejected. They made him so mad he got ejected. Credit to the Cavs coaching staff for keeping it in and keeping it close in the fourth quarter of going on that run. The Cavs assistant coaches did their job. But that's the team that just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. The team with the best record last season. The team that we got smoked by. Absolutely bounced by in the first round of the playoffs last season. That's the team. 140 to 138, the Miami Heat win. That's the best game of the season by the Miami Heat. Best game played by the Miami Heat. And the best win in a while. And that play was amazing. Amazing. Greatest play I've seen in a while. That play just, it was beautiful. Jaquez dragging Evan Mobley out of the paint. Davion Mitchell setting those screens up top, taking Wiggins' man with him. And then Wiggins goes back into the paint. Picture perfect pass by Jovic. Great damn game. The Cavs, on the other hand, they were obviously in it too. It's 130 to 140. All right, you can't. Donovan Mitchell, gutsy shot. Had it with 0.4 on the clock. Yeah, that's a crazy shot. Thank God Kalower didn't foul him on that play. But they were in it. Sam Merrill in the fourth quarter, man. He was about to make me throw the remote into the TV. Dude, hitting 4 straight threes. He was on fire. He was 0 for 7, I think, to that point, and then he hit 4 straight threes. I'm like, who's this Dr. Seuss wannabe? Yeah, he did his thing. Lonzo Ball is nice on defense. He was kind of quiet at 9 points. He did hit some threes. I was like, damn, when's Lonzo got that jumper on him now? What's going on? Dean Wade hit some threes. Really good three-point shooting team in the Cavs. They hit threes when they needed to. That's when it mattered. Evan Mobley, he hit that three to actually give them the lead. And then Jalen Tyson went 1 for 1 at the free throw line. That's when I believe Jaquez came down and tied up the game for us. And Donovan Mitchell had me scared when he was driving to the paint, boy. I just feel like Donovan Mitchell could catch fire any moment. You've seen it happen in the playoffs last year where he would just catch fire, start shooting threes and stuff. It just happened. And if this was last season, like I said, this is the type of game they fumble in the third quarter. And they did fumble the lead, but they fumbled in the fourth quarter. They maintained it through the third quarter. The third quarter was tied 39-39. The second quarter, we beat them by 14 points. We were up by 9 going into half. But we came back into the fourth quarter with a 9-point lead, and we did choke the lead. Sam Merrill gave those 4 threes. It was tough, but we kept in it. We kept fighting, and that would be the type of game we lose. We'll let Donovan, and that's the type of game the Cavs also try win, because Donovan Mitchell just gets hot out of nowhere. And starts hitting shots and taking over the game. But we're able to minimize his effect. We minimized Darius Garland completely. He only had 11 points. He only played 19 minutes. Donovan Mitchell had 28 points, 15 rebounds. But no matter what, we were able to minimize him. As much as you may think. That stat sheet does come out. He was great, but he wasn't. We didn't let him go on that little playoff hot streak that he goes on sometimes. DeAndre Hunter is nice, though. DeAndre Hunter, great defensive player. And can hit shots when he needs to. He's not scared to take the shot. Evan Mobley was giving Khalil Ware buckets, but I like that Khalil Ware was able to hold his own this game. And that's about it for the Cavs. That's all I got for the Cavs. But man, the Miami Heat really should. If you weren't sold on this new offense, if you weren't sold on Coach Spo coming into this season, if you weren't sold on this Miami Heat team just yet, it's too early for you. It's too early. 10 games in the season, a little too early. This was the game that should sell you. This was the game that should show you that this team can win the East. That this team can make the Eastern Conference Finals, can make a run in the playoffs. because they didn't have their 2 all-stars, the 2 players coming into the season that you're like, okay, in order for he to be good, we need these 2 players to be great, to be all-star caliber players. And we didn't need them to beat the Cavs. We didn't need them to beat the Cavs. We have Norman Powell and Andrew Wiggins playing at great levels. Norman Powell's playing at an all-star level. Andrew Wiggins in the last 6 games has been amazing. You know, he started off slow in this offense. It felt like he didn't fit in. But he's just been amazing in these last couple games. And he's been stepping up when we don't have Bam in these last 3. So Andrew Wiggins has been incredible. He had the walk-off. I love that for him. He got his heat moment. The greatest Canadian player of all time. Andrew Wiggins. He got his moment. And, man, I mean, I'm just speechless at that moment. But my player of the game, let's get to the player of the game. My player of the game, it could go to Norman Powell. It can go to Andrew Wiggins. It could go to Jaquez. It probably should go to one of those 3 players over the player I'm going to choose. But because of what he's been through this season, just 11 games into the season, because of him being benched, being thought of he's not going to be able to do it against these 2 bigs. He's soft. He's not aggressive enough. What I saw from Ware in his 34 minutes was amazing. 14 points, 20 rebounds. I'm giving the player of the game to Ware. To Ware. Just offensive putbacks, grabbing the boards, going up vertically and snatched it out of the air. Just being able to hold his own against him. Even giving Evan Mobley a little putback, a little layup. Giving him a little Evan Mobley might have responded with a 3. That put them ahead. But they ain't win the game. Those pigeons ain't win the game. Ware ain't no pigeon. He wasn't a pigeon this game. It was amazing. I like the game they played for Ware. Big spot for him going against the 2 bigs in Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. This is one of the 2 best 4 and 5 duos in the league. And he was able to hold his own as the backup center with Bam out. He had no 4 next to him. It was Ware and a bunch of, and think about it, it was Ware. And then he had Pelle Larsson next to him, Andrew Wiggins, Norman Powell, Davion Mitchell next to him. At times, Jaquez. You didn't really see Jovic next to him like that. Those are the guys he had next to him. A bunch of 6'6" and under guys. And he was able to get those 20 boards that we needed. And that's what I love for him, being aggressive around the boards. And getting the baskets around the room when we needed them. So my player of the game goes to Ware. Could go to Jaquez. He was amazing. Hitting clutch shots, drawing clutch fouls, doing his thing. He had 15 points in the second half of the game. It could go to Norman Powell. It probably should go to Norman Powell. 33 points. Andrew Wiggins, game winner, 23 points, came alive. Always hits a timely 3 these days. No, it's going to Ware. I love what he's been through the season to just come back. You could tell he's not soft. He can take the tough love from Coach Spo. He can take it. And he's going to respond even better. Now that Coach Spo shows him something, he's going to respond even better. That's what I love from him. He's not going to get down on himself because he got benched or because he got taken out of the starting lineup. Now he has his moment that Bam's out, and he capitalized on it in this game and showed that he's damn talented, and he's as talented as we think he is. Jeez. You know who else is talented? Chris Quinn. Chris Quinn. If we're continuing this path of being this successful this season with this offense, this defense, doing our thing, Chris Quinn, it might finally be his time to be a head coach in the NBA. And here's Spo talking about the play that was designed by Chris Quinn that we ran to win this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just embracing the unknown. Embracing the confidence guys are gaining in what we're doing. It always helps when you get some W's out of it. But guys, understand our identity. To defend, and that now can create some things for us. Offensively. And guys are growing.
I think I played the wrong clip there. That was him talking about Ware. His best game he's played in a Heat uniform. Those efforts on the glass were incredible. He was reliable on defensively. I just played the wrong clip on accident. I'm a little too excited here. I'm a little too antsy. But that goes along with me saying Ware had his best game of the season and deserved that player of the game that I just gave him in this Miami Heat overtime victory. But as I was saying, Chris Quinn was the one who designed that play at the end. And this is what Coach Spoelstra, the Spope, had to say about him designing that play to win the game.
My card listed as CQ for 4 years. So when it got to that point, Quinny said, "Hey, we should run that." And I said, "You know what? There's no better person than to diagram it than the one who came up with the dang thing." So I just had him diagram the play, and it worked beautifully. I thought Norm sold it really well, and then Wiggs made a great cut on it, and then Nico just put it right on the lip of the rim. Like, couldn't made a better pass. If it would have been anywhere else, it would have been, 0.6, or something like that. So it was great execution to get that. It was a classic game. It was a lot of fun to be a part of. It's better when you get the win, and it was just, play after play, like both teams, I felt like we were making a ton of plays, but they were scoring, making plays, or getting offensive rebounds, and knocking down big shots. But showed some grit, when we were up double digits, 9 points, and then they came storming back. And
I mean, honestly, this season we have seen not only a evolution of the Miami Heat and their players and their offense and the way the schemes, but we've seen the evolution of Coach Spo because of that. Because Coach Spo is used to that hard-nosed defense, low-scoring games. But this offseason, he said, no. We're going to try and evolve with the NBA in the more fast-paced offense, and we're going to have the fastest-paced offense and the best offense in the league when we do that. And he did that. He evolved his offense, made it faster, made it higher scoring, sacrificed his defense for that. And that's an evolution of Spo. Now we're seeing him challenge earlier in the games. That's an evolution of Spo. Usually only saves those challenges to later stages of the game. And I don't know for sure if it's always like this, if he lets his assistant coaches draw up plays for him. I'm pretty sure they implement the plays, so I don't know if they draw up the plays for him. But to let Chris Quinn draw up that play to win the game and execute it the way he did, that shows the evolution of Spo. Look, I don't know if he always has assistant coaches draw up the plays. I don't know if they're as hands-on in drawing the plays, especially once to win the game. But I believe him trusting his assistant coaches like that not only shows his trust between Chris Quinn, but shows his evolution from this offseason into this new season that we have here. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing. Even through what he's going through with his house and all that, divorce, all that, Coach Spo has been amazing. He's Coach of the Year. Finally might get his Coach of the Year. I don't know how a top 5 coach hasn't won Coach of the Year yet, but he deserves it. And that's 100%. That's 100%. And this Heat team is amazing. It's amazing. It's fun to watch. And they just play hard. And it's not full of talent. There's no Lucas. There's no Ants. Tyler Hero's their biggest star. Worldwide. He's their biggest star. And even that's not that big of a star compared to Ant, compared to Luka, compared to LeBron, compared to Tatum, compared to SGA, compared to all those players. It's just, and he's not even playing. Tyler's not playing. Bam's not playing. It's Wiggins and Powell leading this team, and even when Bam was there, he was the one also leading the team with this explosive offense, with this fun style of basketball. I love a group of guys that aren't that big of stars, that not everyone knows of. Your common casual NBA fan, or just the one that turns on TNT here and there to watch the game, or the ones who turn on the playoffs just to watch the playoffs. I love a team full of gritty guys. I love it. And this is the result you get when they just play hard. They play hard. And it's enjoyable and it's fun. This is fun basketball. Something we haven't... A fun offense is amazing and it's fun. We haven't had a fun offense in a while. The most fun we have is when we're winning. Which is obviously the number one. That's the most fun. But the second after winning, the second way to have fun is by having that explosive offense. It's like watching the Dolphins in 2023. Tyreek Hill cheating, running around the field. We got that in the Heat, but they're also winning tough games, and they could still play defense. It's incredible. Great win by the Miami Heat, 140-138 in overtime against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tough team, and we're still undefeated at home, which I love, and I hope we stay undefeated at home because we have another home game after this versus the Cleveland Cavaliers again. So we faced them 2 times. They had to stay in Miami, so that might be bad news. That might be a bad recipe for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You might think the Heat having to play the Cavs twice. What are the odds they beat them 2 times in a row? Especially without Bam and I don't know. 2 nights in Miami, an extra night in Miami, might be bad news. But I hope we can stay undefeated at home, and that will lead us into a game in New York on Friday on Prime Video. Finally get our first primetime game. So we actually got 2 primetime games coming up in 2 weeks. So they can see what we got finally. But other than that, got nothing else for you. Heat 5-0 at home. Amazing performance by everybody on the team. Every single body. Great overtime victory. Had me out of my seat. Thank God they put us to bed early. We didn't have to go through a double overtime. And we have the Cavs again, 7:30 Wednesday night. Hopefully we can turn that 5 into a 6 and remain undefeated at home at least through this week. Other than that, let's go fucking Heat, baby.